He kōna ipurangi tēnei nā te reo irirangi o Aotearoa.
I love clothes. It's my guilty pleasure and my weakness.
There's nothing quite like getting something new to wear.
It's been fantastic, actually, and I've become away with some corporate wear.
The fun of giving it a try.
One particular item is a light grey blazer.
And realising it suits you.
A friend of mine said, you have to try this on, it'll look great on you. And it's probably one of the most worn things in my winter wardrobe now.
We've talked about the wee pick-me-up that you get from shopping before. But what if you could get that buzz without blowing the budget?
I think it's even more better when you don't have to spend money. The feeling, that is.
You're about to find out how to do it. Kia ora, I'm Katy Gosset and welcome to Thrift. Our saying in this episode is a pretty simple one. We've probably all used it. To give someone the shirt off your back. Various sources have attributed this to one Tobias Smollett. Back in 1771, he wrote a humorous novel that I had never heard of. It's called The Expedition of Humphrey Clinker. But there are also references to similar ideas in the Bible, and it's essentially about showing generosity to others by sharing clothes. And in this environment,
that jacket's amazing.
That's pretty much what's happening.
I know, it's so fantastic.
Love it.
So where am I this time and what is going on?
Give me.
Oh, yeah, you should have it. Yes, yay.
Sounds like a bunch of mates who've gone out shopping together and are trying on clothes.
It's so cute.
And you'd be kind of right. It's a clothing swap.
These are actually new.
Yeah.
So it's that bright Aussie fashion.
This is a small gathering amongst friends who've been kind enough to invite me along.
We've bought some stuff.
I bought some
Oh,
stuff.
look at you.
And a bit later on,
You know that I'm going to get all three of you to put on your new finds.
Oh,
I did wonder.
Yeah. Brilliant. Yay.
they even give me a bit of a twirl in their new threads. You can watch the video on our website, but we'll come back to that. First, let's say hi to our models.
Yep, so I'm Anthea Ibell.
I'm Trina Edwards.
And I'm Sarah Cragg.
They all believe in sustainability, so they don't want to throw things out, but they're also looking forward to updating their wardrobes without spending any money.
There's dresses, tops, skirts, shorts, jackets in here.
Whether it's something fancy
Some of it is full designer.
or something unique.
I got this top at a op shop and somebody's made it themselves. And it's so stunning, but I just never wear it.
Anthea's our hostess and the instigator of this particular swap.
I love the idea of being able to all come together and bring all of the things that you no longer need and just share them amongst your own community.
She runs her own sustainability education business, as well as a Facebook page promoting second-hand shopping.
Whatever's left you can kind of then pass on to op shops or pay it forward in other ways.
And Sarah agrees.
It's almost double dopamine hit. It's new to you and you feel good.
And gatherings like this one are becoming more popular.
Oh, I love clothing swaps. It helps me clear out my own wardrobe, but also you get to update your wardrobe.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think I do that with family and stuff like that, so yeah. But yeah, I reckon that's a cool idea if you're into it.
But there are a few things to think about to make a swap like this work well. Tip 1 is laying down the ground rules.
Whether we wanted to do a show and tell or just go for it and rummage. What do you guys reckon?
I think at least maybe putting them into a bit of a, this is my, like a category.
Sounds good.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
If it's just a few friends, it's easy to go with the flow, but larger swaps will require more thought. We'll come to that. It pays to set those limits early on. Who's coming and how many? And is it just friends or friends of friends? Clothing swaps can come in all shapes and sizes. A bit like us, really.
For me, it's also around sizing, being plus size or curvy, as they say. Sometimes finding other people around the other size, swapping contacts, and that can be helpful as well.
So if you're organising a swap yourself, make sure there's something for everyone. Accessories can be a really good category.
Jewellery is a really good thing that I've seen swapped before. Bags, I've got some really good bags.
And sure enough, back at Anthea's house,
Scarves. Oh, wow. I have about 400 scarves.
Oh my god.
So it was not hard to whip these off the scarf rack.
another, not rule as such, but an important part of making a clothes swap work is getting like-minded people together. And to do that, you need to understand what people want and expect for their clothes.
Clothes are a mix of casual, active, and...
So as we start going through Sarah's bags and boxes,
Yeah, I got that the last time I went to Australia.
it's clear that some of the clothes hold memories.
Reminds me of that holiday.
For some people, part of the appeal of a clothing swap is not just that dopamine hit that comes from getting something new, but also knowing that their clothes will go to a good home.
Because it's special to me. I don't want it to just end up potentially getting thrown out.
It might be that you know an item of clothing will suit someone else better.
I really thought that you might like that dress.
Oh, amazing. Thank you.
Yeah.
As for Trina, this is her first official clothing swap, although she has always enjoyed styling her friends.
I do like helping other people to find things that will look good on them, and I'm quite good at that, and so I actually find quite a lot of joy in that side of it.
So this is your first?
It is, yeah.
You're a clothing swap virgin.
I am.
And for Trina, as for the others, decluttering is also a big part of this. And she has another admission to make.
This is the wrong place probably to admit it, but I'm a clothing hoarder.
And in the confessional circle that is the clothing swap, I'm going to put my hand up and say, I'm a clothing hoarder too.
I have a very well-loved and well-curated wardrobe from multiple decades.
I'm intrigued now, how big is your wardrobe?
It's too big for the size of house I have. I have containers of things that I really do need to go to a consignment store, but this was a bit of a trigger today. Okay, here's an outlet for some of this.
So whatever reason you have for coming to a clothing swap, it's good if people can be on the same page, and that might determine who you invite. If you're hosting, maybe put some time limits around it, decide if it's an evening event with drinks or a daytime fixture with cups of tea. That could make quite a difference to how lively your swap gets. And that brings us to tip 2, which I'm going to call smooth sailing. So here's an example.
I'm not handing these back.
Yeah, that's fine. You can have that if you like. There you go. There's the first swap done.
Yeah. I got something and you got to not have something.
Yeah.
Well, that was easy. But these are good friends, and this is an informal gathering. Well, as informal as gathering can be when a random reporter turns up with recording gear. But sometimes it's not so easy. In fact, when everyone is politely admiring something, it can be downright awkward to be the person who actually says, I want that. So it needs to happen. But Anthea's been to quite a lot of clothing swaps and believes the key to success is creating a respectful environment.
Nobody was barging in, so all of the attendees were excited and happy to be there and really lovely about it. It wasn't a greedy kind of attitude.
Part of showing respect is bringing quality garments. That means there's a wide selection and plenty for everyone. It's also worth laying things out or hanging them up in categories, dresses, pants, bags, etc., so items are easy to see. And of course the condition of the clothes is important. No rips, holes, broken zips, and it goes without saying that they're pre-washed. Here's Sarah.
I guess there were a couple things that felt really old, really out of shape that I didn't bring. And there were a couple of things that I was like, actually, that might be quite good. I might keep that. So it was a great little process to go through.
You should also provide a mirror, or several depending on how many people you've got, and a place to get changed, like a bedroom or bathroom. But what if more than one person really likes the same thing? Sarah has hosted previous clothing swaps, but
I'd just not seen that happen. But even today, at some point, you do have to break the moment where you go, I'm going to take, even just having the first swap happen.
But if there is competition for a particular garment, it might fall to the host to mediate, or even toss a coin. The other thing is, what if one person brings a couple of items but takes home 10? Again, among good friends, that might not be an issue. But as a general rule, it's worth having a set number of items that each person can bring, and then they take the same number home.
The clothing swaps I've been to, no money exchanges hands, so if I take 5 items, I get to take 5 items home with me.
Some people even use a system where guests get a token for every piece of clothing they bring. At some swaps, you can also pick a number from a jar. The numbers determine who gets first dibs on the clothes. Each person has a go and can pick up a set number of clothes in each round, and that keeps things fair. Once you've thought about how many items can be taken away, as Sarah says, then spare a thought for those that remain.
Do we lump Anthea with all of the stuff?
Or should people take their own unwanted items home? Either way, it's something to think about in advance. Once the rules are sorted, we're into the fun part.
This is one of my favourites.
Digging through boxes and dressing up.
It's very short.
It's a wee bubble skirt.
Yeah, it's good for beachy.
Oh my
God.
God, it fits you like a glove.
You know, if this was a feel-good movie, and this kind of is a feel-good episode, we are literally at the point where there will be some kind of montage. And I can assure you there is a fun video of the ladies strutting their stuff on our website.
No, that is perfect.
So clothing swaps can be a great idea. You get that total buzz of a new item you love, you hang out with some like-minded people. I mean, I literally just met these guys and I had a lot of fun with them. But tip 3 is, I guess, about also turning the experience into something more functional.
This is a bag of shoes because I wear shoes, but I don't really wear these shoes, or I don't wear them anymore.
Swaps can be tailored to offer the kind of items that serve a real need. For example, children's clothing.
So I'll put my daughter, she's got massive feet. Awesome. Oh, they're like brand new, Sarah.
And Anthea knows this firsthand.
Anybody with a kid knows that they grow out of stuff really quickly, and so being able to share stuff amongst friends and like essentially the traditional hand-me-down thing is an awesome way to save quite a lot of money.
What that means is that for Anthea, this gathering has been more than fun.
The fact that Sarah's shoe size is my daughter's shoe size is awesome because there's like a brand new pair of shoes there for her. Yay! It's just like Christmas. It is like Christmas. Yay.
Sustainable, not commercial Christmas.
Oh, that's so great.
And talking of that, of course, the swap doesn't need to be clothes. You could do one ahead of Christmas to get sustainable presents for your family, or have a theme if there are particular things people need, household items, sports equipment. With this gathering, we focused on the clothes, but it was pretty much an everything swap, including
Puzzles. From that one time I thought I was into puzzles.
and
I am a person who is eternally given hundreds of amazing wheat bags.
also,
I bought these just on the off chance.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Cubies.
My daughter will love those.
and not limited to,
Does anybody want a microwave potato
I
chip
did
maker?
not even know that was a
I
thing.
know. Amazing.
you get the idea. Oh, and one more thing that's good to take to a clothing swap or any kind of swap.
Come with an open mind. You know, you're not going to find the brand new dress that you saw on some website. Be flexible, and if you don't find anything but someone likes some of your stuff, still give it.
And now for a quick recap. If you're planning a clothing swap, put in some parameters. Who's coming, how many, the event duration, and then set some rules. What to bring, in what condition, and maybe how many items. Yes, it can be fun, but remember that for a lot of people, this is also a chance to get things they actually need for free. So bring quality items that you'd be happy to take home yourself. Create a fun, respectful vibe, but set up a system to manage how clothes will be shared fairly if there's any competition for one item. And the last of our takeaways for this episode is literally the takeaways. Consider who's getting rid of all the stuff that no one wanted. One final thought. Everyone was having such a good time that I decided to join them and found myself trying on clothes in Anthea's bathroom. Which means that in 30 odd years of being a journalist, and this is literally the first time I've ever got my kit off during an interview.
So you're a kit off virgin.
I am a kit off virgin. So next time on Thrift, I'm back with consumer behaviourist Anthea to take a deep dive into why we spend, all the tricky little triggers that can empty our wallets. We also look at some of the money-saving challenges that can curb that behaviour, and he throws down the gauntlet. Looks like I might end up doing a challenge myself. To check out that episode and others, make sure you follow and listen to Thrift on your favourite podcast app. Many thanks to my fabulous guests in this episode. Well, technically I was their guest. Anthea, Ibell, Sarah Cragg and Trina Edwards. As I mentioned, There's a bit of an impromptu catwalk video of them, so check it out at rnz.co.nz. This podcast was produced and presented by me, Katy Gosset, engineered by Alex Harmer, and Tim Watkin is the executive producer of podcasts and series. If you'd like to get in touch or share a tip, contact us at thrift@rnz.co.nz. Thanks for joining us. Ka kite.